All right, good evening. How are you? I am D. Leonard Hughes. I am president and CEO of D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute. And I am so glad that those of you that's joining us on the Facebook platform, and then we've on 4 other platforms, and people are coming on, and I'm so excited about my lecture on tonight. Uh, let's see. Hold on one. Got to make sure it is public. Okay, it's public. Okay, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna get started with tonight's teaching. I don't know. I'm not gonna be on as long as I usually be on tonight. I don't think. Want to talk about. Let me say this. There's a new organization I was reading about on today. It's called Christian Nationalism. This is not a Christian-based organization. I'm going to look into it a little bit more. I looked into it, got an understanding, but I want to be able to look into it a little bit more to really break down where they are coming from. So many are using the title or the of Christian to get folks' attention, especially in the political world. We're also mourning, I would say that, and thank God, and we're praying for the family of Queen Elizabeth. She was an exceptional, gracious, wonderful energy. She had good energies. Every time I saw this vibrant energy flowing from her, meaning she had become one with herself. When you become one with the Christ within, you become one with yourself. Your countenance begin to change because your vibration changed. And imitation. I, for one, know that it can be very, very difficult trying to stay in vortex and stay in alignment when you're having challenges, you're having health challenges, loved ones having challenges. But it's very important that you stay in that alignment. That's why it's very important that you constantly, I'm learning this and I'm practicing this to listen to my emotions and listen to my mind in the mindfulness. I want to say that word again. You have to experience mindfulness in order to control your reactions and your actions. You cannot control what happens throughout the day. You cannot anticipate. You cannot plan. You cannot, you cannot control the outer world. And only thing you really can control is your actions and your reactions and what you're vibrating as a result of this event, result of this situation. I like to say situation. I don't using the word problem because it makes it seem like you're defeated. So I use the word situation. On this personal development journey, first of all, your goal is never a destination. I did something, and I'm going to unpack it. I'm going to do something more on my show. There's some things that I even covered today about people reaching a peak and what to do next. There is a next. We so often make one great accomplishment and that's it. And we think that our goal is a destination. No, your goal is not a destination. It's a journey. As you go on the journey, you keep evolving. Let me say this. You will meet much resistance. You got to be ready for it. But you make a choice, either resistance or either you stay, either the resistance or, hey, Nicole, either resistance or you stay where you are in life. I like to say resistance because it gives you, in religious circles, they use this. And I don't talk about the devil. What am I talk about him for? I never talk about him. What's the purpose in it? So I say resistance. On your journey to success, on your journey to manifesting the wish desired, remember, there's going to be much resistance in your mind, in your body. This is how I learned that some friends I had outgrown that I love very dearly, very precious to me. But mindset wise, we were in two different, on the road too. I've got some friends that, that's on the same level of thinking and the same level of mindset. You go nowhere unless you change your mindset. God cannot do anything for you if you don't change your mindset. That's why he gave you a mind to think. That's why he gave you a will, and he respects every man's will. If you want success, you can have it. If not, that's fine. I'm not praying for success. I'm working success principles. And I am developing a success. If you develop, listen to me, those that are on the other platforms, Nicole, if you develop a wealth mindset and you read about wealthy people, there's no way you won't prosper and you won't get into the vortex or get into the alignment of success. I tell people all the time, in order to do the things you want to do in life, you got to get rid of the religious mindset and people that have a religious mindset of 1,000 reasons why you can't, why you shouldn't, or why you would or wouldn't do, why they wouldn't do what you want to do. Well, I wouldn't do that. So why are you listening to them? You're defining your life according to them. Or people want you to copy and paste their life to become your life. You know what copy and paste is? That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to get, let me tell you something. Even people close to you. Human nature, and I'm not saying this to be paranoid, but human nature is just human nature special. Let me say this, undeveloped. This is why I started the company. Once again, this is not a religious platform. This is not a church platform. This is a personal development. When you get on the journey of developing yourself, you begin. Now you're going to meet much resistance. You're going to meet much resistance within, doubt. But when I hear those thoughts, I talk. Don't let your mind talk to you, and you don't speak back to it in a positive sense. Remember, I always say that you're not your thoughts. Remember that. Your mind is one thing. You are the identity of God within you, the Christ. Do you know? Look at me. Do you know that you got God, the God that made the universe? He's in you and he's a part of you and you're one with him. And see, religion, it aggravates me, it irritates me that religion would give a concept of God that people struggle with. They think he's playing hide and go see, or he don't want you to have things. You got to keep going to him and begging and asking. It's the wrong concept. And I don't care how long it's been. You know why? I used to teach the same thing until I was enlightened because I wanted to grow. Most people in religious circles don't want to grow. They stay just where they are. I did not want that. That's why it was personal development that changed me, that is changing me. And I realized my passion was helping people change their mind and get them out of all of that religious stuff that you have been taught that has nothing to do with God. The presence of God is within you. Again, the scripture says, he that is joined to the Lord is one spirit. Christ is all and in all. This is the awareness that you got to walk, knowing that Christ is in me. I'm in him and he's in me, and I'm one with God. And you watch your environment. This is not my notes, but I'm coming there. The next few minutes, not going to be on too long. Your environment determines your success or your progression in life. You create. We're the only creatures on planet Earth that creates our own environment. A dog cannot create his environment. You get a dog from the Humane Society, or you buy him from, a puppy place. You bring him into an environment. A cat, you bring him into an environment. But we as humans, we're the only ones that create your environment. What kind of life you want? Well, I just want what God wants. That's very immature, unteaching, that doesn't motivate you to get up and do anything. How many people I just want what God wants, and they sit for years and years and years? You think God is that type of person? He's a progressive God. When one plant, goes, another one comes, you cut your grass, the grass is right back. He's a God of abundance, and he's in you. There's no separation. He's in you. Now, faith plus imagination. If you listen to me and do exactly what I told you, this stuff is so simple that church folks make it so hard that you come on. Haven't you gone through enough? Haven't you even Job trial only lasted 9 months. You say, well, Dr. Hughes, what's wrong? You don't have the right information to empower you. The information you have is not information to change your mind, and you're not operating in mindfulness. Listen, get out of the past. And I know it's hard. I have to challenge myself, because when you're living in the past, you'll stay depressed. When you're trying to go so far in the future, you become anxious. Mindfulness. Enjoy the moment, even this moment that we are experiencing together. Enjoy it. I'm learning, and it's a challenge to not go back there. Don't go back in your past and try to think, well, I should have did this, because you find yourself with ruminating thoughts and catastrophizing. You think of the worst case scenario. Once you start that loop in the past, if you're not careful, it keeps looping. And something or somebody is living in your head all day long for 2 or 3 hours, and they're living free. Okay? We can't talk about faith without talking about Abraham. Faith and fear both, I like this quote. Faith and fear both demand you to believe in something you cannot see. There are challenges that come. You have to say, well, I'm going to walk in faith because I can't see, but I can imagine. And I'm going to walk in fear because you begin to have imaginary, fearful thoughts. And before you know it, you're off somewhere and you don't even know you went there. You catch yourself, oh my God, how did I get there? How did I start thinking about him for 10 years ago? Excuse me. And you keep living and keep dancing and dancing. Only time, Steve Jobs say, only time you look in the past is to connect the dots. You want to connect the dots, but not in a negative sense. We call it breadcrumbing, meaning you're looking back and you see each little thing that on your way, on your journey, the universe, the spirit will throw you little breadcrumbs. You follow those breadcrumbs because that's going to take you to the wish desired. And you think that I have it now. See, can I look at me? The reason why you're not manifesting, because you have a lack mentality. You have a lack vibration that I'm liking this. I need this. I want this. I like this. I need this. I want this. I like this. I need this. I want that. And that's not where you should be vibrationally. Vibrationally, you should be, I already have it. The scripture says, pray believing you have received. Then he said he's given us all things. Yeah, we're not supposed to live with a whole bunch of needs. We're supposed to live, every need is met, every bill is paid, every need is met. I'm healed. You confess and you decree and you say it and you say it and you say it. And the more you say it, resistance comes. It's not going to work. You're wasting your time. Go somewhere and sit down. Retract back to the old of just waiting on something to happen, and it's a mess. In religion, hey, yeah, I thought about you on today. I don't know. With Facebook friends, I want to start sending you, the morning mental wake ups. So I don't know. You're going to have to inbox me because I don't know why I'm not able to go on Messenger and pull you up. So message me so I can start. It started about 10 people. I'm a little over 400 now every morning. And now, let me say this. If you happen to get a morning wake up back to back, work with me. Because when I first started, I was copying and pasting. Now it's, it have grown. So I'm trying to find an app. Well, I've tested a couple of apps. Some people get it. Some people don't get the morning wake ups. Do this. If you get a double wake up from me, morning wake up, let me know, because I'm testing 2 new apps. So I'm going back and forth to see which one's going to work. Okay. If your mind can go there, you can physically be there. If your mind, everything, you're just coming on. I was talking about flowing in life and getting in an alignment to manifest. Let me tell you something. I'm manifesting things in my life. I didn't say praying. You don't pray for what's already yours. I know what religion have done. If I tell you I've left you a will and left you a testament, and I'm in you, it's everything you need is on the inside. You have to use faith. Cannot effectively be faith, but we are imaginary beings all day long. You're imagining. I'm imagining there's a little hoagie place that my weight is down. I'm at 222. Used to be 310. I'm so proud of myself. And even my neighbor that lives in New York, but he owns a house next to me, I saw him. He said, "Man, you look good, man. You look good. Look at you, man. You look so good." It felt good. Just talking about imaginary beings. So there's a hoagie place where I live that I felt falling in love with. It's helping me with my weight, get away from a lot of greasy food. So my imaginary is when I go off there, I'm going to run and get me a hoagie from this place. So we're always imagining. You can't do nothing out your mind. You can't do nothing without imagining. When you at work, you imagine, oh, I can't wait to get home. I'm just going to get home and enjoy myself, take a shot. You're imagining. But you never imagine that you have. You got to listen. Listen to me now. You never imagine that you have the wish desired. The wish desire. You never imagine you have it. Let's get into Genesis. Let's get into Genesis. Genesis 13. You can't talk about faith. I don't want this to cut off. You can't talk about faith without talking about Abraham, because he was the father of faith. And if he was the father of faith, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Gold, cattle, and silver. We'll get to it. Abraham used the principle that I'm going to share with you tonight. And he saw manifestation. And what Abraham see, if ye be Christ, then are you what? Then are you Abraham's seed. Okay, then are you Abraham's seed. So in order to activate the covenant. We've got to do what Abraham did. And in Genesis 13, so Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife and all the land, and he had Lot, his nephew. I usually don't do this, but it is a Christ-based program, not religious or church. So it's a Christ awareness platform. The Lord said unto Abraham, well, that's 14th verse. Let's see. Let's go down to let's cut across the field. Let's go down to the 14th verse. And so now God says to him, and the Lord said unto Abram, once he went through the challenge of faith, he no longer was Abram, but he was Abraham. And the Lord said to Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes and look from this place where thou art. Lift up now thine eyes, not these eyes. These eyes can, I'm in my studio, but these eyes can't see no further than the lights, no further than the ceiling. Because we're made in the image or the imagination of God. People say, well, God stepped out on nothing. No. He used the power of his imagination, and then he spoke and said, let there be, and it's still being. Oh my God. The sun, the moon, the trees are still being. They haven't stopped over the years. Everything else has missed the beat, but nature doesn't stop. And this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be producing and getting some things, you're supposed to be producing some things in your life. Do you want your life to be like this? I ain't gonna say 5 years from now. Let's say 3 years from now. Is this what you want? Or you want to create a better life, a better environment? You're working. I did that on my morning mental wake up too. You're working, but you're not enjoying. The scripture says in the Bible to enjoy the fruit of your labor, to enjoy. So if you're not enjoying, this is powerful. If you're not enjoying the work you're doing, then you need to go within and find out what you really want to do. Because look at me, you spend 8 hours a day, and some people 10, some people 12, 5 hours. 5 days, 6 days a week. And that's a rough way to live, and you're not even happy. What I do is my passion. All the businesses, all the multiple streams of income I'm doing is my businesses, and it's a passion. So because in business things slow down, but when one thing slows down, something else picks up. And you have to, and see, you're frustrated because you're just doing one thing, and life doesn't work that way. You only have one stream of income, and that's not how it works. This is why you're not evolving. This is why you're frustrated. This is why your job is a drag, because you've outgrown it. And there's something else you want to do. You're tired of hitting this ceiling financially. You're tired of hitting that ceiling. You get up every morning. You can't wait till the weekend, and you can't even enjoy the weekend because you're already feeling unhappiness because Monday is coming. Abraham had multiple streams of income. And if you look at, I want to go back. You look at the 13th chapter. You look at the 13th chapter and verse 2. Abraham, Amplified Bible, said, Abraham, catch this. If you catch this, I can get you off that job and get you into your passion. Don't quit the job, but I can put you on the road to your journey in life. If you do exactly what I'm telling you and follow my instructions. Amplified Bible, Genesis 13:1. Now, Abraham was extremely rich. Here it is. 3 streams of income: livestock, silver, and gold. Three streams of income that we know of here: livestock, silver, and gold. God doesn't want you broke, busted. You don't find people in here like that. He said the poor we have always, that's poor mentality. He turned water into wine. He multiplied through the hands of the apostle, bread and fish were multiplied. Why aren't you multiplying? You know why? It's no devil stopping you. The only real devil is the devil you create. The real mountain is you. There's a book called The Mountain Is You. I think that's what it's called. I'm going to get that book and teach from that book. It's called The Mountain Is You. You're the mountain. You're the mountain. Three streams of income. You've been working one job 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. What have you got? Barely can pay your bill. Something's wrong. Wake up and realize that this stuff that they're doing in the church world is not working. Because it's not principles. It's preaching, but not principles. It's teaching, but not principles. It's running and shouting, which is good. I enjoy good services. But only principles and mindset is going to bring manifestation. God is not going to do, he's already done all he's going to do. Let me tell you that. You said it's the timing of a seed in your mind, your desire growing, then manifesting. You don't have to beg him. Don't you ever beg God. You don't have to beg your parents. You don't have to please give me something. You don't have to do that. My daughter does this sometimes. I said, daughter, you don't have to do that. Ask one time and we got you. You want to manifest, but you got to use your imagination. Three streams of income. Livestock, silver, and gold. That one job is not going to do it. You're doing it because that's what we were taught. Go to work and get a job, and that's it. But they never taught us how to go on and live the life and create. I want to say it again. You create the life. The life that you're living right now is a life you created. Oh, no. Yes. Decisions you've made. You haven't changed your environment. You won't change it, but you're still dealing with the same old negative people. Come on. You're wasting your time. They're wasting your time. If you want it, it's time to get it. Time to go after it. Verse 4, where God told him to lift up his eyes. Well, that's further down. But he was extremely rich with three streams of income. We also know about Lot. There comes a separation. Let me say this. There comes a separation time. That was his nephew, sure enough. But it wasn't so much of Lot and Abraham. It was more of the people around them. Abraham herdsman, Lot herdsman. When even they fighting over stuff that's not even theirs. It belonged to Lot. It belonged to Abraham. Are you listening to me? It's sometimes the environment. Abraham and Lot had to separate themselves. They had to separate themselves. Lot went his way. Abraham said, pick what you want. Fortunately, he picked Sodom and Gomorrah. Fortunately, that's where he went. That's where he picked. Your environment. I'm going to say it again. It's your environment. Examine your environment. If there's somebody around you that's negative and keep bringing negativity every time you're in a good vortex, you're excited, you're on your way somewhere, because that excitement is if you already have it, that's where you need to be. You don't need to be, I need it, I want it, hopefully I get it. I can't have it. They can have it, but I can't have it. You don't need to be there. The vibration you need to be in is that I already have it. Pray, believe, you receive. You've already given us all things that pertain to life and godliness. We partakers of the divine nature, on and on and on. So the vibration that we push for to see manifestation, because you don't know how it's going to manifest. I always tell people, when you're manifesting, don't use faces and don't use places because you're not sure whether that's going to be the face or that's going to be the place that your manifestation is going to come. It's got to come. There's no question about it. It must come. It got to come. So 14, he said, lift up thine eyes. Look up. What is your perception? It's one of my main things I talk about. Perception causes wars. Wrong perception causes wars. It causes legal matters and people to get sentenced to prison because of the wrong perception. Your head, your perception, my perception, your perception in life and about things and about people can be so far off. And once you begin to see, you say, oh my God, my perception of that, my perception of him was wrong. Wow. He lifted up his eyes. And he said in the 15th verse, all the land which you see, I would give it to you. He said, all the land, Genesis 14 and 14, all the land you see with the pineal gland, the mind's eye, not these eyes. People, you know, I have crazy, unlearned religious people sometimes try to make comments about the teaching. It doesn't bother me because it shows where they are. I'm not there anymore. I'm moving on. I'm not at a place of depending on people or waiting on something or stuck in time. You can be so religiously stuck in time, still thinking things are the way they used to be, still thinking things the way before the pandemic. That's not true. There's a different sound. There's a different depth of teaching. People want to develop themselves. Religion locks you in. My company, personal development, it frees you. How do you know, Dr. Hughes? Because it freed me. I'm getting ready to go. I want to be on long tonight. It freed me. It can free you. I'm going to share a few more things. Hebrews 11 and 3. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God. So the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. He imagined it and made us in his imagination. He saw the tree, imagined the tree, he imagined a bird, and said, let there be, and there's still being. And this is the vortex or the alignment we've got to do that is ours. There's no more creation to be done. We create what we want in our lives. It's not that everything that you can imagine is already here. You imagine a car, you imagine a yacht. It's already here. That's why I like watching business. I love series. We're watching one now, The Family Business. Excellent series. I don't even know what it's on. We got Raku, whatever it is. And that's why, because I don't like foolishness and scary movies. There's enough stuff in my mind I'm working on now. I don't need to add to it, and you don't either. There's days that we go in our household with no television. Don't even cut it on. Not trying to tell you, but there's enough chatter going on in here to get chatter from there, chatter from social media, chatter from your house, chatter from you can't hear God within you because all the chatter. And this is how I learned. And I'm learning, oh God, to be sensitive to wisdom and to hear God. Personal development did it, and changing my mindset. I'm able to be sensitive to the Spirit of God and beginning to hear him. Now he uses your voice, your own renewed, regenerated, the ministry of reconciliation, bringing man back to God. That's what Calvary did. Calvary caused man to become God again. The God that dwelt in the garden, the same God is in you now. He's not walking around like that now. He's walking in you. Okay? So through faith, we understand the worlds were made by the word. This is why I'm watching what I play about, watching what I say about, watching what I speak. Because the subconscious, this is serious. I'm not saying you can't laugh and have fun, but certain places, certain things I don't get into. I don't say, oh, I'm broke or I'm this. Oh, God. You got to get there. It ain't God, it's you. And it's not really you because you haven't been taught how to enjoy life now. You're rushing in the past, you're rushing in the future. So you're anxious. You're worried. The things that's happening now, you're catastrophizing. You're thinking the worst case scenario. You're thinking the worst case scenario. You're thinking the worst case scenario. And it will go that way because that's the energy. Not saying things going to go wrong. Yes, they do. People act crazy. This happened, that happened. But you always make sure that you're aligned because you have creative imagination, being original in your thoughts and being creative versus synthetic imagination. Otherwise, you're expanding an idea that's already here. Cultivate your imagination. Cultivate your what? Man is all imagination. Imagination is the action of forming ideas or concepts not present to the senses. When you start holding and say, I've already received what I believe for. You don't have to tell him what you need. He already knows. We never were told that. I must tell Jesus all of mine. He knows. It's a wonderful hymn. You don't have to bear him alone because his yoke is easy and his burden is light because he's in us. Well, it's just a song, but it's not truth. Many, many great people years ago, I won't mention any names, had big, great ministries, packed auditoriums and stadiums, but their concept of Jesus was wrong. It was wrong. They never made people aware of the presence within them. It's always he's coming from somewhere, or you got to get him to come, or you got to get his attention, or you got to wait for him to come down. Come on, how ignorant can you be? I'm gonna say that, and I mean just what I say. I don't get into a lot of theology because a lot of it is not truth. It's not scriptural. It's what man have put together and watered down a lot of what God has said. I believe what he said. He said what he meant and meant what he said. Just believe it. People want betterment. People wonder, and I don't care what people think. You wonder why Joel Osteen helps so many people. You can say anything you want to say. You show me who you're helping. Those few people you're running around behind or run behind you. They're not being developed, and you're just churching them. You're not developing them. Or you pushing yourself to make you look good. You love the people love you. Political world, the church world, no longer care about the people. It's not about the people anymore. Our government, oh, God, is messed up. It's messed up. Even the decisions the judges are making. We know the decision the judge what Connor made. We know that was all favoritism. I don't care if you listen. I don't care if you tell her. It was favoritism. And she should have known better and been more competent in her ruling. She showed favoritism to Mr. Trump. I'm not even going to say, I'm just going to say to Mr. Trump. And I voted for him. Yes, I did. Because his principle, not his principles, but his policies, even among Christians. But I won't do it again. And this new Christian nationalism, stay away from that. I got to get a little bit, I got to understand that I know, but in order to help you, government don't care about people. You look at Russia. He don't even care about the lives of people. He wants land. He don't care about the people. He wants control. He wants power. He wants the land. And this country is in a mess. Well, why won't God do something? Because God cannot operate outside the mindset of people. It's not his will that any should be destroyed or destroy themselves. But he gave us a will. God's not at fault for nothing. Why won't he come help? Because he already laid out the blueprint for us to follow. Wickedness is in the hearts of men. And if you're wondering or you having something against God because this happening. Man, it ain't, I told folks, COVID wasn't that. They got monkeypox. New York got a state of emergency because of polio. We haven't heard about polio, in years. And people not even waking up to the awareness of Christ within them. You can't have no confidence in the government. We're in this world, but we're not of it. The government does not care about the will and the well-being of the people of this nation. From Congress to Democrats to Republicans, they don't care. Well, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. You better examine all of them. You better be the kingdom of God. You better examine all of them. And I'm coming on in. The church world, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. Only thing they care is what they can get. How the preacher can become more richer and more this, and his family gets rich. And who suffer? You suffer. You're paying out. You're paying out. You're paying out. And there's no help for you. You better wake up. Nobody's coming to your rescue. I learned that. Until you stand up and walk it out and remember it's not a destination, that it's a journey. Nobody's coming to your rescue. As you walk it out on your own, as you go, you'll meet people that see that you're trying to do something, and they will help you. But as long as you're down and out in that bad vortex, that bad alignment, nobody's gonna come help you. People help you. Now, the people that may come are the people that can't even help themselves. And you so excited. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. You came in. Okay, that's okay. But you gotta be around a mastermind. You want to go in business? Get on business platform. Get on Clubhouse. Be a part of Mastermind Alliance group. You don't need another daggone prayer partner. You need people that have a mindset with information to help you. How can you go in business with limited information? You don't even have options. I was reading an article before I came on about remote working. Things have changed. Get with the program. You got to present. You don't hear people talking about manifestation and imagination and mindset. That's why people are leaving these churches, because they haven't seen results. Only thing they see is a lot of cliches, a lot of jumping, a lot of this, a lot of that. And they're brainwashing you. They don't want you to think for yourself. You better wake up and think for yourself. Not just the church, but politics too. They're brainwashing you. I look at all the Trump supporters, all of the hatred and racism. Yes, I'm saying it. The hatred and the racism. It's the same thing in the church. Hatred and racism. And the little man suffered. You suffer, little man, because you allow them to put their foot on you. Or you're waiting for people to give you something. That's not life. Everything you're giving, but there's no return. That's not business. And you're looking 10 or 15 years to get a return. And it's not going to be that way. 10 or 15 years down the road, it's not going to be that way. I was in one religious setting, and I was sharing how if the people wanted to be back to their church, they would be back. People are not staying away from church because of COVID. They're staying away from church because they're bored. There's no principles. There's no information to get them. They jumping and shouting and sweating and carrying on with no transformation. Oh, COVID got the crowd down. It ain't COVID. It's because you're not giving them nothing. You won't seek God and find out what timing is now. It ain't COVID got folks. Folks everywhere else. Look at the airports. Look at Walmart. There's a chair in the mall that massages you. And I go back once a week, and I think it's like $10 for 30 minutes. Yeah, I think it's $10, 30 minutes, something like that. $10. And I look at all the people doing what they want to do. It's a wonderful world. So if people think that people staying home because of pandemic, y'all, listen, look at me. Those that are on all the platforms, you ain't been staying home because of pandemic. I got 14 more minutes. You ain't been staying home. You going where you want to go. But and some of you haven't been back to church because you have sat down and you have calculated what transformation, what manifestations am I getting? And I'll tell you, zero. You may get a little something every now and then, but if there's no personal development, they're not helping you for the future. There's no post-pandemic plan in the church. It's getting back to used to. And I got up in this religious setting, and I see how ignorant people can be of where life is and where we are. And I was sharing, I would tell there was other religious leaders there, and they do all the preliminaries, and I just acknowledged the main folks, and I said, enough of that. Let's get into what we're going to get into, the word. And I told them, leaders, they gone. Couple may come back, but they're not staying home because of COVID. It's not why they're staying home. So there's got to be a plan now to move on. Your plan is trying to get them back. The reason why you want to get them back, because you got to get your financial numbers up. Let's keep it real. I made more money during the pandemic than I ever made. And I'm not talking about church money. I'm talking about business money. Multiple streams. Are you listening to me? You get multiple streams of income. You can't live out your church now. You can't do it. Stop playing games with yourself. Them people gone. They was coming back, they'll be back. You may have a few. But, and I said something. People get excited. We took in 5 new members. Where did they come from? Oh, praise God. We took in 10 members. No, you didn't. You take it in a recycling crew. There's been 3 or 4 other churches. And you know what? They're not going to stay with you long, because this is what people are doing. They're hoppers. You can stand up and say you've taken in 5 or 6 people that have come into the awareness of Christ. This is why I'm saying years ago, there was a great man. But his concept of presenting Christ was wrong. And people never went any further in receiving what they want to receive. We're still in the church. Hey, my mama, Dolores McGray, that's my mother. Then I've got my good friend, Pastor Janice Coleman. We're going to bring her on, and I'm going to see which Friday, if she would come on. She's a great pastor and a great businesswoman. If she would grace us and come on. I like talking to people that's getting their business going and doing something. And she's one. I'm glad to have you, Pastor Janice Coleman. And I'm sure my mother and Unique, my daughter, Sheila. See, I'm on so many platforms. I'm on 5 platforms, y'all. So if I don't, you see 9, that's just this particular platform. But there's other platforms. I can't even see them all. So if I don't say nothing about you, it's not because I don't want to. It's just I'm trying to. Okay, you know what I'm saying. Charge to the head. That's all. You want to manifest. Aren't you sick and tired of the same old religious stuff? Well, the people ain't coming back. They ain't coming back because they didn't get principle. They're not seeing things take place. Your life is not supposed to be miserable and drama. That's not the life you're supposed to live. You gotta get in your head and then get in your life. You're in your life, but you're not in here. You're not correcting. You're not arranging. You're not doing stuff in your mindset. Oh, come on. Stay with me. You swipers, don't swipe. Okay. Abraham was very rich. Unique, 3 streams of income. Pastor Janice, 3 streams of income. 1 stream was cattle, 1 was silver, and 1 was gold. Abraham was very rich. Very rich. And what I like about the boy, in my closing, he learned to depend on the God that's within him. Even when others wanted to help him. In Genesis 14:23, he said, I will not take so much as a thread or a sandal strap of what is yours. You will not say, it is I that made Abraham rich. Sometimes we're looking, I got to say this before I go, and then today is our I do allow donations every other week, and this is the week that we'll do it. I don't do it every week. Those that want to see seed, or those that want to donate, is whatever word you feel comfortable with. Abraham said, "Let me tell you something. I don't want nothing from you." Sometimes this is what I'm saying. We're not supposed to be in a vibration of needing and wanting and totally depending upon people or depending upon the arm of flesh. I know he uses people, and in business and entrepreneur and transactions and negotiating, we deal with people, but we're not supposed to totally depend on them, because in manifesting, don't put a face to it, don't put a place to it, because the person you're looking at may not be the one, or the place you're looking at may not be the place. He said, I don't want nothing from you. This is where you got to get in order to manifest. Because at times, it's not going to come through who you've already pictured or imagined in your mind, that if this person does it, if Oprah does it, oh, I'll be great. He'll be all over the world. Oprah Winfrey show. May not be the plan. He's got a better plan. The greatest inventions were done by accidents, not intentionally. Just happened to do something. And I remember years ago, a man in Tampa, Florida, he invented, I guess he didn't invent it, the honey and ice cream. I don't think it still haven't gotten out yet. He was getting ready to put some honey. So I don't care what happened. Anyway, the honey went over to the ice cream, and he developed honey ice cream. But it never got off the ground because big companies like Breyers or something wanted it, and he wouldn't sell it. I don't even know whether he's living or not. But it never got off the ground. You got to know how to move with stuff. This is why you have to be focused and not be all in your problems or your challenges or your frustration, because you miss the moment. And I want to say this, one of our morning mental wake up, one of our supporters, Sister Angelia, will be speaking over her family. She lost her mother. So she reached out to me, and I already told her. And then two of our supporters, both of them were very good supporters. They inboxed me and say, "Oh, Dr. Hughes, I'm not going to be on because of COVID." Stuff is still out there, y'all. COVID's still out there. Monkeypox. Told her, gonna keep coming. Ain't gonna stop until the minds of the people are drawn back within to God within, and we're everywhere else. Loving more than loving pleasures, more everywhere else. See, Abraham, God is gonna do things that, and I know coming up, Pastor Janice, he does things that only he can get the glory. But sometimes we're looking for things to happen through people, and it doesn't always happen like that. Abraham, unique. Abraham said, I don't want you to give me nothing. He wanted God to do it. And God did it with those 3 streams of income. In Genesis 2, verse 8, he gave Adam 4 streams of income, 4 rivers. You see how it's supposed to be? I think some folks, the lights are coming on. They're catching it now. And they realize what's going on, why they can't pay the bill, why they're frustrated. Because you're not trying to step out. Religion will hold you back. And it calls you dream your dream, the impossible dream. I don't know the rest of the words. Dream it. You can dream it, you can have it. You can think it, you can have it. Use your faith cannot be faith without visualization. This is why God, thank you. This is why God told Abraham, all the land. Nicole, everybody, thank you. I don't want to sing out nobody. But Nicole, he said, all the land. If you can see it and hold it there, Nicole. Not just Nicole. She's been a part of my life, like one of my spiritual daughters for many years. But even myself, I ain't praying and begging and pleading. And some want to, all right, Pastor Coleman, yeah. Some folks don't want nobody else to come to their pity party. They want to enjoy their own pity party. And pity party means pitiful people. And you're not pitiful. You're not pitiful. You're the presence of God on planet Earth. There's no presence of God outside of us, within us. God is all and in all, because he got to have a mind. This is what the enemy does. He's got to have a mind, and he battles for our mind. He battles for our ear. He's got an Eve's ear. What's been in your ear today? Maybe not nobody, but what's been catastrophizing thoughts, thinking the worst scenario? And oh God, we can go there. We can go there. Akola, bless you. How are you? We can go there. We think the worst scenario. I don't know. And anxious and anxiety starts what we call ruminating thoughts. It's like a train. And it gets going, go. And your head starts going. Frustration, doubt, worry, fear. It goes. And you want to just stop. When you do that, you're repressing it. And I know it's hard. Let it pass. Thoughts are like, I say this often, thoughts are like clouds. They will pass. You're not your mind, and you're not your thoughts. This is the greatest awareness. Patty, this is the greatest awareness that I realized when it comes to the mental battle. Oh God, I said I was going to be off in a few minutes. Give me a couple more minutes. Stay with me. The mental battle. The thoughts, catastrophizing and the ruminating and before and after a while, it develops a thought pattern. And whether you want it or not, it's a pattern of thoughts that keep going. If you don't have, and you got to just don't fight it. I know it's a sensitive area. Just let it ride. Don't think bad. Don't drop in your vibration because you have a thought of something. Sometimes somebody can pull in front of you. You have a thought, I was going to grab them out the car. But you can't stop that. You can't control that. But what you can control is your actions and reactions to that. Okay. Today, we only, and don't jump off, y'all. Don't jump off now. we only do donations or seed, whatever you feel comfortable with. We only do that. We only do that about twice a month. We do that twice. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, really, every other week is twice a month through Zelle. I'm building a company. I've got people from Africa. I got people from India, Pakistan, that is being blessed. And today I've got an invitation from Pakistan. And this is my dream. Dreams come true. To take this personal development company, and there's 100, I know there's 190 countries on the earth, at least. I want to take personal development into every country. And I want you to be a part of helping me. I want to take this into the prisons. I want to take it into the schools. Hey, listen to me. I want those, there's something Brother Mike Murdoch talks about, 58 blessings. And I need at least 10 of you that will stand with me on tonight with a $58 donation or seed. If you can't do 58, do something. If you enjoy the teaching, I often say I've got a lot of books on audiobooks, but when I find one that really resonates with me, I'll leave it back up. I'll go ahead and purchase it to support the authors. Some of them are dead. Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, they've been gone for years, but who's ever carrying on their work, I make sure because I want to donate, or I want to give into what's changing my life. And I know this is life-changing principles. So those that would actions and reactions. That's it. You can't control what happens in life. Don't get frustrated. I know we do. I had some things happen this week, but I'm learning actions and reactions. Those that can do that $58, I want you to begin to give that now, whether you're doing it by Cash App, or you're doing it by Zelle, or you can take your camera and put it on the QR code and it would go right. I'm gonna leave that up. I'm gonna take it off while I'm talking, and when I go off, I'll put it back up. All right. Thank you all so much. Use your imagination. You use it all day. When you left work, you imagine which route you're going to take. You imagine stopping. That's who we are. We are imaginary beings. We do, even when we're asleep, it's going. And I discovered who I was. And I discovered if you change the way you see things, the way you see things change. Things will change. Okay? I appreciate you all so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you. You know who you are. I don't call nobody name. That's giving. Do something. Okay? Do something. If you can't do the 58, do something. Say, Dr. Hughes, I get your morning wake up. I appreciate you. It's helping me. It's changed. Well, then support. Okay? All right. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm getting ready to go. Join me next Friday. Join me next. Join me. Let me what I said. Join me. Trying to get my music together. Join me next Friday at 7:30 p.m. Same time, same station. All right. Appreciate y'all so much. I'm going to put this back up. All right. D. Leonard Hughes say, thank you. Thank you very much for listening.